I'm Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things in terms of developing your intuition, your psychic abilities, working with your guides, connecting to the universe, following your purpose, fulfilling your dreams, and more. So if you're new to the channel or if you haven't done so yet, please push the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on all these little lessons and tips and tools that I put out on a regular basis to make your life more magical. Today I want to talk about a question that a lot of people have asked me about the use of oracle cards. And of course I've created several of my own decks, including the one I have today, which is the Ask Your Guides deck. Now, oracle cards are pictorial guides that help you connect to your subconscious, your higher self, and the unseen world. It's sort of what follows the idea of a picture tells a story, is worth 1,000 words and tells a story. There's the basic oracle that we all know called the tarot, which is a book on how to master consciousness, and each picture is a chapter in the book. It's a lesson. Now, springing from that are other oracle cards like the ones I've developed. There's hundreds of oracle decks because the inner self, the subconscious mind, the inner self, and the spirit work with symbols. They don't speak English or your native language. They speak what Carl Jung called archetypes. In other words, we all have a shared soul language that we inherently understand. When we see images, universal images, that when we see them, speak to that part of us that is our soul and is our spirit. So the first thing to know is all oracles are just telephones to your divine self and to your soul. And that these oracles give you access to parts of your awareness that your conscious mind and the way it's trained and the way it thinks just can't get. It just will miss it. So we're speaking a different language, a visual language that gives us guidance. It plugs us into parts of ourself and to the unseen universe in a way that we do inherently understand. So what oracle do you want to work with? Well, the first question people ask is, which is the right oracle? Understand that working with spirit is an art, not a science. So there isn't a right oracle. There's a right for you oracle, and there's a right for you at this moment oracle, and there's several that feel right for you right now oracle, because as an art and as a venue to speak to your soul, to connect with your spirit, these are just instruments. So we don't have just the instrument. We can have a whole orchestra. We can have the instrument of this oracle and that oracle and another, a tarot deck and a Ask Your Guides deck. I have a Trust Your Vibes deck. I have an Answer Is Simple deck. Each of them are like instruments, like the piano and the tuba and the trombone and the harmonica. So you have to see that all roads lead to Rome when it comes to oracles. The more important thing about oracles is not what oracle, because the oracle is just a vehicle to talk to you, but to be in the mindset to have the conversation. So when you work with oracles, you have to really ask, am I receptive to real input? Don't work with oracles if you're not genuinely available to new insight, new information, new perspective that's different from the way your ego would normally perceive something. So I always say, don't use an oracle or ask your guide for guidance unless you're genuinely, honestly available. The way to work with an oracle is, you can do a lot of things, but I like to do this. I like to shuffle them like this, hand over hand, and let your oracle be your oracle. It takes on your vibration. If you're passing it around and everybody's using it, it doesn't really get dialed into your experience. Just like your phone. You don't like to share your phone necessarily. You can let someone else use it, but I don't know anybody who has the house cell phone. I mean, I'm sure there are households who need the one house cell phone, but even then, it tends to be one person or the other who dominates the phone. So this is yours. This is your vehicle. Sit and work with the cards like this. You can watch TV, working with the cards, just shuffling back and forth because it's taking on your vibration. So I think that this is something really good to do. Also, you can wrap them in silk, you can wrap them in velvet, you can wrap them in a little case to just protect them. And this indicates these are special. This is something about my inner self. I'm not going to just discard them carelessly. Treat them as something that's a treasure. And then when you want to work with cards, there's so many ways. Again, this is an art. There's not a right way. There are different techniques, and my oracles have certain techniques. Tarot has techniques. There's layouts of all kinds. You can even invent your own technique. One of the easiest is the one card technique. Like, what's the guidance for today? You can just shuffle, then you kind of put the cards like this, close your eyes, and then you may just pull one out. So for me, Shadow comes out in my deck, and it says to connect with the divine healers. So interestingly, this is exactly what the tarot is for, is to bring to mind and awareness what you don't see. That's what we call the shadow, the parts you're missing, the avenues you're missing. So you can do the one card, you can do the 3-card layout, but the key is don't ask over and over again trying to get the answer you want. Ask once, pull once, pay attention, and then give it some time. Your ego could say, it's not what I want to hear, and immediately dismiss it as a waste of time. My experience is every time you pull a card, it's relevant, it has very meaningful information, it can guide you in a very big way if you're receptive and you're sincere and available. So it can be helpful to have a little book or a little journal. You can do it on the computer as well, but it's like, this is what I pulled. And check it over a period of a week because it means something. Every time you pull a card, it means something. And I just want to address one more thing because there's so much to learn about this. In my guide, I have a Trust Your Vibes Oracle deck. I have an Ask Your Guides Oracle deck. I have the Answer is Simple Oracle deck. I have the Divine Guidance Oracle deck. People say, what's the difference? That's like asking me, what's the difference between instruments? Different experience, different sounds, different ways to know your soul. All legitimate, all equally valuable. So again, the ego mind is which one's right, which is the one. It's not the way to approach an oracle, not a way to approach tarot. It's a language. It's a conversation. And with each deck, you have a different aspect of the conversation, just like you would with people. You're talking to your guides, your higher self, you're looking at it from an emotional point of view, you're looking at it from soul lesson point of view, you're looking at it from karma point of view. So have that attitude. That's how to work with the oracles. And then the final thing when you work with oracles is don't let them scare you. A lot of people get so superstitious and spooked. Oh my God, I pulled the devil card, it's all over. No, every card is symbolic of an aspect of life, so learn the meanings of the cards. And don't be dramatic and don't carry on and make this theatrical. If you're sincere and you can recognize even a card like the devil, which scares everybody, simply means the world of appearances, illusions, things that are not accurate. So yeah, life does have some blind sides and some curveballs, and the oracle decks will let you know. You're in for a rough patch. Doesn't mean you're doomed. Doesn't mean you're ambushed. It means get ready. You're being challenged. Step up, be conscious, be prepared, set your intention, and respond with awareness as opposed to react with drama. They're very wonderful. Very, very wonderful. So ask your guides. It's like, this is my number one oracle. The other one is Trust Your Vibes. There's so many out there. trust your vibes and go for the card oracle deck that you are attracted to. And I have an online course working with oracles. It's very inexpensive. You can go to my site, you can look at it. It talks about how to create a relationship with oracles. It's so simple. And it helps you feel in charge and comfortable and secure in working with oracles instead of being intimidated or scared. So if you want to further look into that, you go right ahead. You can find it on my website, soniachoquette.net. Enjoy it. These are wonderful ways to get to know the magic and mystery of your soul. These are wonderful ways to live life where it's not so sterile and intellectual and everything's locked down scientifically. This is a spiritual arena in which you get to be the artist, the creative, the magician yourself. So work with them and enjoy them and trust your instincts, because when it works with oracles, they're speaking to your own unconscious and it knows what they mean. So rather than getting the meaning, what's your meaning? That's even more powerful. Okay, I hope this helps you. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment if you'd like. I'd love to hear from you. And also, be sure you subscribe. I'll be back soon. All my love.